Why do some women reject young, attractive, and successful men, but end up obsessed with men over 60? The answer may not be what you're imagining. It's not simply a matter of money or stability. There's something much deeper, psychological, and intimate behind it. Get ready, because in this video, you'll discover truths that may never have been revealed about what women really desire. And if you're an older man, you'll understand why you might represent one of their greatest secret fantasies. Welcome to Imperturbed, where the mind commands, the heart observes, and the soul never surrenders. Sit comfortably, because you're about to discover more about attraction, power, and female psychology than you'll probably learn in your entire life. Let's begin. When a woman observes an older man, she doesn't just see wrinkles or gray hair. She perceives signs of a life that has been lived, choices that have been made, and defeats that have helped build his character. An older man doesn't need to adorn himself with filters or rely on appearances. His very presence conveys who he is, someone who doesn't chase attention but naturally exudes presence. Youth shouts, while maturity speaks softly, and that silence can be far more powerful than any shout. An intelligent woman doesn't just seek intensity, she seeks depth, and a man over 60 carries true stories, scars that speak for themselves, and silences that can say more than 1,000 words. Furthermore, in an era dominated by superficiality, an older man can represent something rare: authenticity. He isn't constantly seeking approval and doesn't live for likes. The way he walks, observes, and behaves reveals a tranquility that only time can provide. And in a society full of chaos, this tranquility becomes desirable. It's not about competing with younger men, it's about playing a completely different game. A game where attraction is born from the soul and not just the body, where wisdom is valued more than physical appearance. Because, in the end, what a woman seeks is not just someone to hug her, but someone who can understand her simply through a look. And this deep, silent, and firm attraction cannot be bought. It is built over the years, through wounds that have healed and a masculinity that no longer needs to be constantly demonstrated. This is the kind of man a woman observes and thinks, he is different. I don't know exactly why, but I want him around. Most men react immediately to what they feel, but an older man, with a character shaped by time, doesn't simply react, he responds. His tranquility doesn't represent weakness, it represents controlled strength. His silence doesn't mean emptiness, it means a power that needs no explanation. A woman doesn't necessarily look for a man who can shout louder than her own emotions. She looks for someone who knows how to calm her storm, someone who can be a safe haven in the midst of chaos. And when an older man manages to make peace with himself, he transforms into exactly that: a refuge, a presence capable of offering tranquility without demanding anything in return. The real difference lies in the energy. A young man usually enters a room wanting to be noticed. An older man enters and the room itself seems to change. His serenity transforms the atmosphere. His gaze radiates respect. He doesn't need to constantly talk to get attention. He has stopped trying to be the center of everything. Now he himself has become the axis. And women notice this. They feel it because energy doesn't lie. When a man masters himself, when he stops being controlled by his own impulses, he transmits something that no young man can simply imitate: emotional stability. And this can be extremely attractive to a woman who no longer wants to play games. Masculine calmness is both an art and a form of strength. It is not found in books or superficial advice. It is time, pain, and introspection that truly develop it. That's why when a woman encounters such a presence, she rarely forgets it. Because in a world where everyone seems to be shouting, a man who knows exactly when to remain silent becomes impossible to ignore. When a woman has already experienced emotional wounds, what she seeks most is not necessarily beauty or promises, it's trust. And that trust doesn't come from pretty words, but from a consistent and firm presence. An older man doesn't need to say, "You can trust me," because his way of being, looking, and acting
already conveys that message. He doesn't